Morning, beautiful souls, and welcome to Mark Bayerski's chat. Or today we're going to name this podcast Enemy of the State. Seems very fitting to what's happened to me in these past few weeks and months. Really fitting. So, what am I drinking today? You would like to know. Well, then, let me tell you. Today I'm drinking a tea which is a combination of lemongrass, milk thistle, lavender, mint, licorice, dandelion root, I think that's it. Now, I'm sure if you were an expert on all of these beautiful teas, you would probably say, nah, 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 nah. Three is plenty. Shouldn't mix more than three, four maximum. Well, you're possibly right, but I never do things what I'm told to do. I've always been that kind of character in life. Whenever I'm told not to do something, guess what? So there it is. There's the tea. I'll let it simmer for a little while and see what we get out of it. So, guys, welcome to Enemy of the State. That's me. Or should we say enemy of the narcissist? That's probably more in tune, and a lot of you have already kind of felt it that I'm being attacked by a person. And you're probably right. It's probably a single person who, let's say, is going to dedicate their full life on that what they believe is their property or their invention or their creation. So you normally find with narcissists, or should we say dark souls, when you finally figure out, do you know what, where I'd like to start now? I've just thought about that. I'd like to start with my first mentor. And sometimes I get some grief after making these videos saying, oh, says the guy who's talking about people. Yeah, that's a great way of shutting people up from telling the truth. I don't listen to those people because they've they are either the narcissist themselves, so they're trying to shut that person up because they don't want people to know and figure out what really is a narcissist and how they work. They don't want you to know how a narcissist operates and, let's say, how a dark soul operates, and they all operate the same way just about. There's obviously different ways they all act depending on what they've been through as a child, but deep down their consciousness all kind of does the same thing from their home spirit world, from their spirit world. And when I talk about spirit worlds, I'm just talking about a world outside this world. So whatever's inside their body is their real their real self. And how they act, they may act with masks, but you can actually get to the core of what's called a narcissist, or I like to call them dark souls, and they come from a dark world, and they all have the same characteristics. That's not what psychology can't put them pieces together. Oh well, a narcissist is probably because of these reasons. Not always, not at all. So that doesn't make sense. But if you said, oh, they come from the same spirit world, which is a spirit world nil and void of love, but one of power, greed, manipulation, suffering, causing suffering, and so on. You start to, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. The other doesn't make sense to me. So this is a spiritual war. This is a battle. And you know, it's funny because my first mentor, when I met two or three of my mentors, I would say closest friends, behind the scenes, when I sat having a coffee with them, they looked at me and said, Mark, your mentor is real. I'll tell you word for word. Your mentor is really good at spotting potential. Whenever she spots somebody, they normally do really well in life. Now I've come to understand it's nothing to do with spotting potential. That's just a one way of seeing things. But the other way is they know, they can smell power. They can smell power in what I'm not saying this is ego. I'm talking about they can spot somebody who is doing well and is going to do really well, and they need to jump on their back straight away. And that's exactly like, understand this. My path wasn't my first mentor because I was already learning the field of spirituality without a mentor. I organically started this work by clearing a shop of crystals. So I cleared a crystal shop in Fuengirola and I put them all in my little shop that I owned called Run by Angels. I'd already started that path. I was already introduced to energy, to spirit, well before my first mentor came along. And what happened, and in actual fact, my first mentor was probably Inga, but she was never like that. She was like, oh, why don't you come here? Why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? Like, whoa, I'm going to see Babaji. Why don't you come with me? Like, she was probably my first mentor. So I was already going to these beautiful circles where healing was given once a week. At first, I thought it was crazy. My story is pretty insane and funny. But once I got into it, I was like, I was sharing stuff. After the first, I would say 6 weeks, the second time I went, I saw the face of the man of who we were all healing without even realizing. So from then on, I was like, wow, there's something in this. So that's how my path started. And then I end up walking past a shop in Fuengirola and it said the crystal shop or the angel shop, something like that. I can't remember the lady's name, but she was a tarot reader. She was like, she did the shows. And I actually remember seeing her at one of the shows when I was selling magnetic jewelry, because I brought them all the magnetic pieces. I thought, if anything goes wrong when we're in Spain, at least we can sell this box of jewelry, which I did. That's how I got to meet Inga. Fascinating, really. All organic. It was amazing. Amazing. And what I was learning from Babaji, from like many different forms of healing, Master Kokosui, like so many different fields. I was entertaining, shamanic. I was learning from shamans, going to like rituals and cleansings. I was doing it all before my first mentor came along. And was she really my mentor? She was. Why was she your mentor? Because she put a beautiful set of cards in my hand. And I'm thankful for that. Completely thankful. Trust me. If anybody was as thankful than me, it was me. I was so thankful. And the energy exchange, the universal exchange, I gave so much to my mentor. So much. You have no idea. To the point where my wife, Susie, then was like, She was very placid, and she still is placid. She's not a talker. She's kind, and even she said to me, "You know what? Maybe you should spend a little bit more time with us than with your teacher." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm spending too much time. I'm being pulled into it. I'm feeling now like like." I don't know, maybe a bit taken advantage. And I didn't mind that. I didn't mind it because obviously she's of age and it's hard for her to get out. And I understood all the problems and this and that. You understand how it all works then. You understand how all of it works. It's all the same story. It's all the same because of where they come from. Anyway, it is what it is. It's great because what I learned from that by stepping away and saying, you know what? I really need to spend some time with my family now. So is it okay if I just take a step back for a while? I don't need to come anymore. Basically, wash, cook, clean. I'm not kidding you. There was one time I came to the house and she was washing up and she said, if my father could see me now, he'd turn in his grave. And the reason why is because they were well-to-do family and they lived in another country where they had basically slaves. So anyway, by the by, this isn't about nitpicking. This is about just telling you how it all, like, for me, I learned a valuable lesson, and that is to sweep somebody's doorstep. But once you've done it, let them continue. And if they don't, at least you tried. The thing that I learned from my first relationship with what's called a narcissist is that there is a line, and I speak about this often over the years. Never cross the line between helping somebody, which is this side of my line. There's the line. Yeah, I'm helping somebody, than living their life. And what does that mean? You go beyond helping. Now, what you do is you take over their life. So they just go like this. Ah, this is great. I love this life. He takes me everywhere. He cleans the house. I give him a little bit of information every now and again. Just drip feed him a little bit. But I'm basically in control of everything. I made him who he is. Without me, he wouldn't be who he is now. He's flying, and I am the creator of that. And they really believe that. They 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 do not see somebody else's power as power. They neglect that. They see it, and that is the opportunity to feed from you, but then they very conveniently push it out of the way as if it didn't existed. So prior to them coming into your life, you were nothing. You were nobody. If you lived with a narcissist, you know this. You were nothing. They made you. They made you. And that's all they see. And that is because of where they come from. Like, I give you, we are so opposites, it's untrue. And even though they show themselves as maybe they are telling the truth, maybe they are lovely, we're we're taking 1, 2, 3 years, 4 years to break down and understand that they're nothing like us. This is all a front. It's incredible how it works. I have now taught, I have been a guide to thousands of people that have spent 4 days with me. And some spent weeks and some spent months with me. Some spent years with me, following, coming to every circle, coming to readings with me, having healing sessions, having private learning with me. There was never one moment that I forced myself on somebody because I could see potential that would help me. I am not in any way, and never have been, a dark soul. And dark souls work in a sort of this level cult energy. Cult energy is like they see a potential, they grab them and they groom them. They groom them so that boy or that girl will be beholden to their abuser, to the dark soul that has now literally taken over their life. They're all over the place. And normally they're good souls. So I give you a great example of this. They're all over the world. Okay. So if you're a good soul and you somehow get led into darkness, and darkness then does what they do, groom you, the narcissist grooms you. Normally they are at very high levels. So have you heard of a lady called Tulsi Gabbard? Gabbard? Has anybody ever heard of that woman? She was the woman that many years ago people were like championing. Everybody was championing her. Oh, this is the one. She's the one. She's the one. She's the one. She's going to change the world. And I think everybody kind of felt that there was good in this person. But normally what happens when you see somebody in positions like that, you have this really funny feeling in your stomach if you are attuned. You feel like, am I going crazy? But there's something not right about this situation. And I've always said, yes, she's great. She tells you everything you want to hear. Something don't feel right. And of course, it always it always comes out. And when it comes out, it's probably because they've been found out. And right now, what people are talking about is what I felt something was wrong. And what that is now she was asked by, I don't know who it was, but some independent or mainstream journalist that found out that she's actually been taking all her advice from a narcissist. She's been groomed from a young age with a narcissist. You call them what you want, but it's a cult. The cults that they're manipulating dark soul leaders that take them under the wing and then tell them what to do. So I think I don't know if this is 100%, but I think now that she was asked to give her explanation of who this guy is and what about all these emails that that we've found that your cult mentor has told you what to say, and you've gone onto TV and said the exact same words. Oh, she's conveniently stepped down. Oh, but it's because of her husband and he's got the C. Yeah, so don't talk about that now. It's big C. Oh, you're a bad person if you start. So it's all like you realize that all of these people who get to high levels are all, without a doubt, they have masters, they have narcissistic mentors, or they're part of some kind of cult. So is she a bad person? It's not that she's a bad person, it's just what's happened to her. And she's followed the cult leader. I could see clearly with my mentor that everything that I was learning and understanding, it became evident that I was being groomed. And I could feel the grooming. I could feel what was happening. And it's in a manipulation in a way that's hard to see, but you can feel it. And I think at least she was honest. What she used to say is, I never tell you to do anything. And I'm like, no, you don't. You've never told me to do anything. But you tell me to do stuff every day, but you don't tell me to do it direct. And I think that's how a lot of narcissists get away with it. They know who you are. They feel your weaknesses and they act on them. Oh, I would love to go down to the sea today. What am I going to say? No. You mean you? What you mean is, can you take me down to the sea? Of course I will. Of course I will. Oh, it's been such a difficult month. I've got my mortgage and I just don't know what to do. I've got these rings. I need to go down to and sell them. And it's like, no, no, no. I like, oh, I'll take you down. The guy offers so much money. I'm like, come on, I'll find the money. You give me them rings. I'll give you the money. And when you've got enough money, you can just give me the money back and I'll give you your rings. Like all of these things, continual. You have no idea. You have no idea how it works. But I'm telling you, if you've been in a narcissistic relationship, you'll understand. What I've learned, guys, what I've learned, when I say that I'm an enemy of the state, I don't mean the state, I mean darkness. So how it works, and now I'm back here now. Now I think I really truly understand. So when we talk about going through certain lessons in life, I think we need to be very aware of what those lessons are. So what I believed was the greatest lesson of all, and that is being being groomed by somebody that you put on a pedestal, and at the same time that pedestal starts to go lower and lower and lower when you actually live with them, in the sense of being with them for 3 years, and you realize that that was just an illusion given to you, because what they do is they come with this, illusion that they are so powerful. And it's like, you know what, look at me on Wikipedia, look at me on here, this is who I am, this is who I've read for. And I'm like, oh wow, okay, so you've got a lot of credentials. Like, when they come like that, be warned. Be warned when you are flooded with so much information all at once about somebody. So if a man comes to you and floods you with all of this powerful conversation and amazingness of self-bloating, how powerful they are, be warned. Be warned. That's not normal. That is not normal. So, like, I've lived through that. I lived through 3 solid years of getting drip, 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 little bit of information, and do all of these things for me, knowing that there's a possibility that if I give him everything, then he's going to go. One thing that was said was that she had a reading with a very powerful mystic, and the mystic says that you'll meet a guy with dark hair and hazel eyes, and he's going to bring you back to where you're meant to be again. And she told me this, and I'm like, what? What does that even mean? I used to bring her to my shows. I used to tell people about her and say she's actually all right, honestly. No, no, she's really quite nice, honestly. She's very, very good at what she does, honestly. It's like, remember, guys, if you ever have to justify somebody in any way, that is a red flag. It's a red flag straight away. When do you ever do that? When you introduce your mates? You don't. That's a red flag. Put that in your book. If you are going to meet a guy and you have to then say, this is my boyfriend, actually is really nice. She's really talented, really powerful, really amazing, knowledgeable. It's like, when do you ever do that? You are countering what your soul knows is wrong. So you're trying to override what your soul is saying by your brain. So my first mentor, which was my greatest test, I believed that after that, that would be it. Okay, so my first mentor, when I pulled away, surviving the smash, the aftermath, aftermath of the narcissist, the day after, the week after, the month after, the year after year after year. It never stops. Why? Because they believe that they are the creator of you. They believe in their world that they own you. They believe that you owe them everything till the day you die. They believe this because it is a frequency and energy. It's got nothing else to do. It may seem as if they're after everything, your life, your house, everything that you've got, whatever you're doing, they want it all. They want it because it's theirs. But actually, what they're doing is they're trying really hard to keep that. Most of you already know this, but mother, daughter, mother, son, there is a cord that is always, it's a form of umbilical cord that we always have with our children. And that cord is always there, good or bad. You can fall out with your kids, kids can fall out with you can fall out with your dad, your mum, but there's always a cord there. You can feel it. There's a connection spiritually. And a lot of the times I used to try and cut them cords because some of them cords are relationship cords. They're very similar. So what is the cord? You can have it with your brother as well. Your brothers can have that cord with you and your sisters. And what is that cord? Depending on who the soul in that body is. When you are in a relationship and you finally find out there's something extremely dark and wrong that you tried to push out of your life and ignore and fight with for year after year, and you figure it out, you finally come to terms with it because you don't want to believe it. Not only you don't want to believe it, but you feel, you just feel like this can't be real. It can't be right. I've got to be able to put it right. I've got to be able to change it. When you finally come to terms and that point comes, there is the cord that gets cut. It instantly gets cut once you finally see it for what it is. No matter how you're shown, there's many ways you're shown. For me, my final one is everything isn't right. We need to do something about it. And can we do this? This is an important moment. And that person says, oh no, we can't do that. And you say, well, hang on a minute. It's not a Libra thing. It's like everything that you've ever said, I've done. And now I've asked for one thing, which I believe is the most important thing for us both. You say, oh no, I can't do that. Then it's like, oh wow. It's a big ask. I can understand it's a big ask, but don't you understand what I'm going through? Don't you understand the pain? Don't you understand the no, I can't do that. Wow, it's fitting, all fits together. You understand it now. You understand that you were never there as love. You were there to feed the energy of the dark soul. It's that simple. It's a spiritual war against both. You realize that you were never There was never love involved. Never. Never. Love doesn't even come near it. There's so many things that I could say about my first mentor to my relationship. The eyes, you never look in the eyes. You don't even want to look in their eyes. You know why? Because they feed from that. They feed from that. I never looked in the eyes. Why don't you look in my eyes? Why do you, no. So there's so many signs that we miss. Why are you always going away? Why don't you, why are you never, why are we never the same? Why? Because your soul knows, your soul, get away, get away, get away. Because you realize that in time, you're slowly dying. And the reason why you're slowly dying is because they're feeding from you and they're getting stronger. They don't see that you're getting weak. That doesn't matter. Doesn't even, they'll show, oh dear, oh, you're weak. Oh, yeah, right. And now I ask to do one thing, you won't do it. You don't mean any of it. So when you realize this, my first mentor, and I realized this, finished, finished. The aftermath was insane. Insane. It was done, it was like a whole life had stopped. Nothing else mattered. Now it's 100% Mark Bayerski, and I am going to do everything I can to just take everything that I believe I created, to smash him and pull him down and just basically kill him spiritually now. So what I realized was, and I talk about this, there was a moment in my life after going to psychics, healers, shamans. I went to Reiki masters. I went all over, like pranic healers, every healer I could. And I tried so many ways to cut the cord. And I was external, all the time external. And this is what happens when you're in an abusive relationship. You don't think you have the power, because the power that you used to have, they've dismantled it. So you second guess your power now. You don't believe you've got any power. You feel helpless and useless, and you feel like you've got no power at all. So you don't believe that you can fix and heal, although you did realize that you needed to leave, and you did. That was power in itself. But it's like the aftermath. What they are now going to do, it's going to be 100-fold, and they watch you all the time. All the time, they're watching you constantly. And I've noticed about Dark Souls, they're always watching everybody. Not just you, but everybody. They're watching everything. My first mentor, watching all the time on the internet, feeding, 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 watching, looking, hunting, watching. It's like they're like hawks, hunting. It's like, that's not normal, but it is normal. If you come from that world, that spirit world, it's very normal. There's a sign number 2, guys. There's sign number 2. So my daughter was very sad. My wife at the time was really sad. Confrontations in supermarkets with Susie and this woman. It was terrible. Internet was attacking me. And the worst part was I was doing psychic shows in Marbella, and there would literally be women coming up to me trying to smack me across the face. Um, because what she'd done then is she's gone out and pulled people in and cried and told them how terrible he is and what he's done to me, and these people were, oh God, oh, this is terrible, I'm going to do something about it. Literally. I was so lucky that I had people around me that would stop these women. I remember that a little child outside of the H10, which is now the Hard Rock in Marbella, and it was a show that we did every October. This woman left a kid outside so she could come and basically try and beat me up because she was now one of my mentors. Yes, I don't know. I would never do anything to hurt anybody, so I don't know. NPC, easily led, no soul, brilliant, just attack. And then I ended up passing this guy on the street. This was one of the final things for me. Passed this guy on the street and he says, "You're Mark Bayersky." I said, "Yeah, hi, how are you doing?" He says, "Not so good." And I'm like, "You okay?" He says, "Not really." And I said, "What's up?" He said, "Do you want to sit and have a coffee?" I said, "Sure." And I shook his hand. I even remember where we sat. My name's Anders Anderson. That was his name. He said, "I met this woman and she told me all about herself and I was really impressed. And she told me that she would take me under her wing and mentor me. And she said, and I'll make you more powerful than this guy here that I mentored." And she pointed to you. I said, "I think I know what you're on about." And he says, "Yeah." He said, "You know what, Mark?" He said, "You can see I'm a pretty big guy. I've come from a Hell's Angel background. And one of the things, the stipulations was she told me all about what you'd done to her. And I was really angry. And I was angry and I was going to come and do what she asked me to do. And I'm like, "What did she ask you to do?" He said, "Basically break your arms and legs." He says, "But you know what?" He says, "I went onto Facebook and I watched you. And I watched you for a while." And he says, "Now I went back to Mia's hotel down there to meet her for a coffee." And he said, "I've looked at this guy and I've watched him. And everything that you've told me about him just doesn't make any sense. He seems to be loving and kind and caring." And he said, "You know what, Mark? I can't explain it, but as I said those words, I looked into her eyes and I have never been as frightened in my life." And I looked at him and I said, "Welcome to my world." This is a true story. And from that moment on, I called him my, um, well, he was definitely my angel. He was definitely my Hell's Angel. Angel, for sure, he was my angel. So we kept in touch for a while, and then he disappeared off Facebook. Uh, that's a true story. That's the extent to what darkness will do. You could call it a woman scorned. And they do say that when you finally realize what a dark soul is and you break away, many people will talk about the fetal position of that they curl up into a fetal position because there is no more energy to suck from that person. So they're now nil and void of purpose, energy, and there is truth in that. So I think one of the things that I'd like to talk to you about today is that I think that we think to ourselves, or I thought to myself, okay, that's it. I've got it. I've done it. I've broken free. I was the one to say, no one has the power over me. Nobody fixed it. I fixed it because I said, I can't keep doing this. I was at the end of my terror that I just can't do this anymore. I'm exhausted. Every time I switch the internet on, there's another bad thing said about me. And it's through her thousands of people who used to follow her. Enemy number one again, attack, attack, attack. And I'm like, I can't do this no more. I'm exhausted. And then from nowhere, I put my hand on my head and I held my hand out like I would do healing on people. And I said, it just came out of my mouth. No one has the power over you. And I actually have no idea why I said it. And I was saying it and I kept repeating it. No one has the power over you. No one has the power over you. And then I don't know how long it took, but I can tell you there was one moment when the penny dropped and I realized I actually listened to what I was saying. I don't think most people listen to what they say, but there was a penny drop moment that no one has the power, and it all made sense. My soul had spoken to my mind and my mind got it. My soul, thank God for that. Now you get it. From that moment, there was no more power that was given. So you can call it focus. If you focus on negativity, you give it power. So true. So true. There is truth in that. But that's not enough to break you free. You have to know. You have to know that there's only one person who can stop all of this. And the moment I got it, the moment my soul said, enough is enough, listen. And my brain said, oh yeah, I'm listening now. What? Because I was so low, I had no alternative. My brain couldn't speak loud anymore. It was exhausted. It couldn't think anymore. It couldn't work. And then my soul said, no one has the power over you. It was the most powerful moment of my life. And from that moment on, everything just went and disappeared. It was wonderful. The 3 years prior, me being involved with all of that was a nightmare. And that's what's called surviving the smash. That's the aftermath of the narcissist or the dark soul. But my point today is this. You think you've conquered. You think it won't happen again. But think about this. That relationship wasn't actually the relationship that was the next relationship. That was, let's say, a business relationship. That wasn't an intimate relationship. It was a business relationship. It was a teacher mentor relationship. So once you've figured that one out, what next? A personal relationship. Why didn't I see it coming? Why didn't I? Because I believed that once you've conquered that most dark experience, that's it. It won't come back in. But it does, because that dark experience comes in different forms. It comes in business. It comes in friendships. It comes in personal relationships. It comes in many forms. So you learn in time that, oh yeah, once you've done that, you don't need to worry about it anymore. Excuse me? No, it's another lesson in a slightly different way. Fantastic. So interesting. Right now, I wholeheartedly, as a lot of people realize, and you all know, that now that I've broken free from a personal relationship, the attack doesn't stop. And I can guarantee you wholeheartedly, every single video, every tweet, every post is basically the Eye of Sauron watching everything. The Eye of Sauron is actually the dark souls. That's what they do, watch all the time with their beam of light watching, and when it hits you, you can feel it. And you can feel it. And that is the truth. The power, the hold, the cord is always on you, because they never want to let it go, and they want to feed from you till your last breath. But what they don't understand is that ultimately will kill them in the end. That's their own downfall to the physical body, not to the soul. The soul never dies. The dark soul never dies, but their physical body will die because of what they do. Physical body always listens, always feels. So it's really interesting. So that's kind of where I am. So again, I'm going to put, I got this sent to me 2 days ago, and I must admit, I really, really like this lady. Some people think it's AI. I have no idea. But when she talks about this, she's starting to bring in, and I think it's so close. It's nearly there in my experience, but her experience is exactly her experience. So I want to like talk about this experience, and I want to stop and start, if you don't mind. And she's called Nelly. And I think some of you have been watching her, because this was sent to me yesterday by somebody on here. So it was yesterday or day before? Day before. You'll know. So let's play and enjoy. Let's just enjoy it, because it's great information, and it's great to affirm all the time.
Hi everybody, very warm welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining today. For anybody that is subscribed and supporting me, thank you for all of the help in all of the ways that you do. And for anybody that is brand new, then welcome. Here is a place that I look at both this.
Go and get my stand. I don't know. Like, a few people have said they don't believe it, or it's very difficult to know what's what. But I don't know. I actually feel this woman. So if somebody was to ask me, I've run it through AI just to see, and it doesn't say it's AI, but me just personally feeling it, I feel she's real, and I feel she's been through a lot of suffering. So I don't feel it's AI, but again, who knows these days? Who would know? But feels right to me. Okay, let's listen to this. I think lovely lady, and I'll stop whenever I have my thoughts, in the sense of what I feel is the truth here. And it doesn't mean that her truth isn't real. Of course it's real. Of course it is. But my understanding is slightly different. So I hope you don't mind this. I think it's great learning for all of us. I really do. Because I think the dark souls are after light souls. It's no good. If you're an NPC, you won't understand really any of it. It won't really make that much difference to your life. But I think if you are of a soul from the spirit world, I think this will be relevant, because you're going to, it's going to resonate with you. You're going to feel it. What I've just taught to you now in the past, I don't know how long it was, and half an hour. Everything that I said to you is 100% experience. 100%. No bullshit, no exaggeration, no lying, no missing things out. I've told you the whole truth. the whole truth. There are certain things that I won't say. I won't say the name. I will never say the name of the person. Never, never. Right? And so too with my personal written, never, my personal written, never, never. Just like Nelly wouldn't do. We don't do these things, but we do share our experience and what we're going through. And again, there's always three sides to a story. So from a perspective of the other side, it could be completely different. But again, it would be, wouldn't it? So here we go.
Also, I make comedy skits which are healing for survivors and also awareness raising on this subject. If you appreciate this video today, then please do help me out by liking, sharing, and also commenting.
I'm doing that now.
Most people, they look at narcissistic abuse through this lens of psychology, and they talk about personality disorders and also toxic traits. But if you're listening to this, then you probably know that that doesn't cover the full story, because you know that what you experienced is something deeper. It's a violation of your very life force. If this person wasn't your
hang on a minute,
then you most certainly
I haven't heard anybody talk about the word life force before. I hear chi, prana, but life force, hey, I talk about life force, and I don't hear it that much these days, so that's good. I like this lady. I really do. I've got to say, I'd love to have her on my podcast. I really would. She's great. Come on, Nelly.
By a complete stranger who was lying to you from day one. They didn't want friendship or a romance. They wanted energetic access to you. And they wanted to take you from spiritual sovereignty, which is you within your own energy, to spiritual slavery. And that's where they got you.
I've got to say, this woman, this woman, hang on.
To them. So they came as the enemy under a false pretense.
This woman is great. This woman articulates 1,000,000 times better than me. I'm telling you. I don't know whether it just comes out naturally, whether she writes it down. I don't know, but this is gold, what she's saying. When you are at your strongest and you vibrate at your highest, it's like a moth to a flame, and they're coming to steal that. And how they steal it is by making sure that the power that you have, you become a slave. You actually, what she said there is 100% how I felt for 8 years. I felt a slave to the energy. I felt a slave. It's like an invisible cloak. It's incredible, the power of darkness. It's incredible how it works. I should stop now. I should just listen to the woman. This ain't working, is it? I'm going to try it this way.
Pretense under the white flag of truce. I come in peace, I mean no harm, to gain a seat at your table. But their intent was never mutuality. Their intent was to feed. And this is why the narcissist is like a vampire, because they're a predator that needs to feed literally to survive. And clearly this is not spiritually ethical. This is not something actually that anybody does, but narcissists do, because they're not ethical. They don't care about ethics. And they actually see it as their right. They think they have a right to your energy. They have a right to all people's energy. It is a spiritual violation of boundaries.
Yeah.
And this I speak about on this channel a lot if you follow me, because nobody was actually put on this earth as a sovereign spiritual being to be preyed upon by another person who refuses to deal with their own lack of sustenance and that prefers to be a parasite. So I want to start by sharing with you how the narcissist actually thinks and how they're viewing the situation with people. I'm going to come back to this comparison a lot between narcissists and vampires.
Yeah, and narcissists and dark souls, vampires, the same thing.
They think, hey, let's not romanticize this. But I think that the movies have romanticized it.
Yeah.
But if we go back in time to the actual mythology of vampires, then vampires and narcissists are 100% the same thing. Because everything that we see depicted in that folklore and in those tales applies to narcissists. And of course, one of those being that they need to be let in. They need an invitation. So they need your yes. Of course, also in vampire folklore, vampires come disguised as human beings, just like...
Also, guys, be aware, if you are a target to Dark Souls, they will try and find a way to get in, and they will do everything they can to get in. So my understanding is my mentor like literally stalked me, and I didn't know. Stalked me. Relationship wise, is that like they boom, 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 get this message to Mark. I need this message to get to Mark. I need this. I need you to follow after follow. Like, girls, like this woman keeps, she's just not stopping. Like, she just keeps like, and I'm like, okay, what is it? And it's like, oh, love bomb, 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 bomb. Just be aware that ain't normal. That isn't somebody who works from the light. Something is off. Be aware of that.
It's like narcissists do. And they know fully and completely that they are predators on the prowl. Narcissists do. And they come knocking at the door, and they pretend to be innocent people, friendly people, harmless people. And they're looking basically for an entry point to get close enough to you to drain the life out of you. Now, whether it's your blood or your energy, I think it's the same thing, because obviously when your blood gets drained, you get weakened. And you know what happens if your blood is drained too much. And if your energy is drained too low, exactly the same thing takes place. So it ends in a bad result for you as a victim. So the narcissist needs your consent. But of course, they never tell you who they are, what they want, and how they're going to use you. So you got no clue. You have no clue.
So, first of all, you've got to understand that there are good souls in this world that shine a light, and they don't always come under the banner of powerful healer. They come under the banner of their powerful energy, their light. So, how would I explain that? Empathy, love, kindness, giving everything, being the back burner of everything, and giving everything to anybody, gifting, kind, caring, loving, going out and beyond and above to help the world. They spot it. They spot them. And how they spot them as a two-way thing, that's a soft touch. I can manipulate that very easily. But that's just on a low level. The other level is I can switch that energy. I can manipulate that energy in any way, shape, and form that gives me my life, richness, power, anything I want to do. Like, lay back, they can do what they want to do, but at the same time, feed from them. So slowly make them sick, slowly make them ill, slowly make them lose their mind, so that the energy that they normally create is now changed to negative. So when they look at us, they're not looking for a weak person with weak energy. They're looking for a strong energy, not just of money. That's that they know is coming. My mentor saw that I was going to do well. I never saw it, but she saw it. So the potential of that power that they're gonna get, that's theirs. You are nothing but a unit, a thing. You are not really, they'll tell you all that you want to hear, but ultimately, if you want to test it, if you want to test and see if I'm wrong, then ask them something like, this which now belongs to you, we need to sell it because things aren't going well. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. What do you mean? What have I done all these years? I've sacrificed everything. Now I ask one thing of you, which, yes, it's a big deal. Show me your love and say, of course we will. Oh no, I'm not going to do that. Boom. Now you're waking up. They come after kind, empathy. They come after just honesty, truth. They come after everything. It's like you are a goal. It's a double whammy. You are the when you want to meet somebody and be with them, you want to be with them because you just feel something. And what you feel is like the way you look at future relationship with somebody is not just measuring what they look like, but you're measuring every aspect of their smile, how they treat people. And you realize that when you're love bombed by this person that's been watching you for 5 years, knowing that they're going to come into your life, they know everything about you, but you don't know anything about them, and you don't understand. And you're like, how can you understand this person when all you know is love, kindness, caring, sharing? You can't measure yourself to anything other than that because you're not like that. So you're trying to make sense of, like, you know, when you're now in their company and you watch them and you like you just treat that person. You didn't mean to do it, but I just saw it. You had no respect for the person that just came over to serve you, as if they were a slave. You start to see these things. Madness. Anyway, they don't just target healers. We're all healers. We all come from the spirit world and we are all healers. The reason why most of us are not healers is because we've been traumatized by this world of darkness.
What you're agreeing to. You have no clue that you're even agreeing to anything. In your mind,
It's true.
Absolutely all that you're doing is being present in their life or spending time with them.
Exactly.
So in the narcissist mind, it is your presence which is your consent. So they believe that if you allow contact with them, then that is your yes.
Well
You've said
done.
yes.
So true. That's it.
That's the transparency of the agreement.
So
of course,
true.
It's not transparent at all. But they provide the wooing and you provide the fuel. And that's considered the fair trade at the start. And it's not a fair trade. And it's not consensual. This isn't really an agreement. It's not valid. This is just energy theft.
So true.
This is how I need to frame it. There is a really strong energetic and psychic telepathic link between the narcissist and the person that they choose to target.
So true.
They reach
That's the
up
chord I was
their
saying.
lower vibration, which they're on, to then draw from your higher frequency, because that's where the real fuel is at.
Okay, so if Nelly listened to what I'm saying now, what she's saying doesn't make any sense, right? This is the only bit that I struggle with. But she may not be a healer, so she doesn't understand energy per se. What she's saying is correct. What she's saying is correct. But if she just changed it to this, a dark soul works off dark energy. It repulses light energy. It doesn't like it. Therefore, to change that frequency of energy, they have to make them feel sick, whether it's physically, mentally, or emotionally. That is why the dark soul, as Nelly calls narcissist or vampire, they have to cause an issue to you. They have to do something to start to send you crazy. They have to trigger you. And I was triggered all the time walking out of cafes, walking out wherever, leaving the house, not coming back for a few days. All of that feeds. Now you are now changing your battery life from positive to negative. So yes, they feed from you, but not when you're happy. They see that happiness as fuel, but it's the wrong fuel at the moment. That is diesel. They need they need they need whatever it is, unleaded. So how do I change the diesel to unleaded? I just need to cause suffering. And now the energy is different, which feeds me. So I can tell you why I know this. When a client would say, my husband is abusing me and I can't cope anymore, and please, Mark, of course you're going to do this. You're going to do everything you can, because if you're with a dark soul, you don't want to the worst thing is for you is to walk away and say no, because that's not what good souls do. We never give up. We never give up. We don't want to give up. By giving up, it's like we're failing. We've failed. That's how they keep us there. And I'm no idea what's going on here, but okay, the guy walks up the stairs, looks at me like I'm a piece of shit, lies down on the healing bed, and I begin the healing session, and I can see the uncomfortableness. I can see that there's the be a repelling energy. The guy's getting more angry. This isn't working. After the healing session, he's gone. And like the woman who's been abused, oh, how did it go? Feeling happy. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't know what just happened there, but that ain't normal. That is a rejection of energy. I didn't understand what it was, but I understood that that never worked. And actually, he was pissed off at me, and he wanted to, if he could, he would have punched me in the face. And like, what am I doing? Like, my mind, my soul was saying, this ain't right. Now I understand. Years go by now, that was a dark soul.
And I've said many times on this channel that they cannot generate life force by themselves.
No, they can.
Because they severed that particular connection to the source of creation.
Disagree. Their source, she's trying to determine that we're all the same. But you can't say that spiritually speaking, and then at the same time say something else. Because if we're in a spiritual war and we're talking about energetic and they're a vampire, you can't then say that they've severed their connection. Because what you're saying is that we're all the same. Nelly, we're not all the same. What you're missing, in my humble opinion, is that they come from a dark world. They've not severed nothing. What they're doing is feeding. Like here, really simple, Nelly. I give you a cuddle today, Nelly. And when I cuddle you, I will be giving you my love, and you'll be giving me your love. Pretty simple. When a dark soul wants to feed from energy, it needs to feed from that energy by causing suffering. So that dark soul was saying, look at her, she's nasty. Look at him. Oh, they're bitching about each other. Yeah, let's start a war. Let's fight. Let's do that. Why? Because then the energy changes in people, and then they feed from that. That's what dark souls do. They don't feed from your love, but when they see your love and power, they know all they need to do is change it. That's why a narcissist says, oh, my dear, I can see you're getting really upset and you look so weak. Here's some flowers. And then you go, oh, he's not that bad after all. He's really lovely. Look, he brought me flowers. Yes, he slaps me every now and again and he says awful things. But now, look, he's brought me these flowers. Soon as you're up again, smack, because they feed from you. It's not a smack. It's a change the energy now. Quickly grab it now that you're strong. So it is like a parasite, just keeping you alive, just enough to feed from you all the time. That's all. Hey, I could be wrong, Nelly. You could be completely right. But I can tell you this. Sorry, but they don't come from my spirit world. And sorry, they haven't severed nothing. They are powerful in their own right. My mentor was powerful. My ex-partner is powerful in their own energy. They haven't severed anything. They're just dark souls, and they are feeders. We are light souls. We are givers and carers and sharers, and we are energy healers. We heal. We are natural healers. We don't even realize it. We are all natural healers. If we see somebody fall, we run over and want to heal them straight away. They don't do that. What they do is watch and feed from the pain and suffering that's going on. There's a difference, Nelly. Honestly.
They are the walking dead. They're the living dead. And they're lacking their own light, so they're not truly alive. So instead, they have to steal other people's. In fact, the more light somebody has, the better. Because the more light, the more fuel. If you look at the people that they target, and I'm not talking about that narcissist that has little options and is forced to scrape the barrel. I'm talking about, the prime targets, the ones that they really want to capture. Who are those people? They're loving.
Somebody said in the comment, I wonder why we don't notice it straight away. You did, and you do. You did. You always did. That's one of the questions what I would have asked Nelly if she'd have came on my show. Nelly, did you know deep down something? Was there something that you just felt? It could have been a moment where you saw their eyes change, or you could feel there was something wrong, or you turned a card over and went, shit, that's bad. What? Not looking, not looking, not looking. This is the thing that I talk about over the years when people say, I should have listened. I should have listened to my head. I followed my heart. No, you didn't, love. When I was reading for you, that's not what the cards say. The cards say you followed your brain, not your heart. We knew from the very moment. What we didn't know is what we were getting ourselves into. We didn't know how dark it was. And this is the point. I've come to understand that it is part of the journey. And your soul may know, but I'm really erring on the side of your soul knew. And your soul didn't tell you because maybe your soul said, this is another experience you need to go through. So when your soul goes back to your home world, which is a beautiful ocean, it has this absolutely powerful experience to share with your family in the spirit, the collective energy, the you, the all. It's beautiful when you think about it. Because when you die, your soul isn't in pain. Your soul just comes with more experience back to your ocean. This physical is the only thing that feels anything. That cries, that feels blame and hate and pointing fingers and saying this happened and that. It's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything. When you die, your body just disappears, your brain just rots. But your soul's experience is beautiful, and there is no negative, there is no positive. It's just an experience, and that experience is knowledge and wisdom that the all-seeing, all understanding is growing. Ultimately, it's growing through every experience we go through.
They're full of light. They are everything, absolutely everything that the narcissist isn't. So the exchange becomes, they thieve off of your light because it brings them the fuel that they so desperately need. So they steal your light and they use you as fuel. That's narcissistic supply. It's actually spiritual because it's energy. And the unfair.
What do you think the point of it is, Mark? I just hope to explain that just now. Experience. Through the experience comes knowledge. Through that knowledge becomes wisdom. Through that wisdom expands. Ultimately, everything is about experience. And only this planet that I understand has the physical body to experience these things. So to the soul, this is a wonderful opportunity, although it doesn't feel like that. There's a lot of counter argument to this, is that this world has been deliberately created so that we suffer in this world. And there is so much evidence for that. Killing every day, bombing, poisoning. I get it. Those that are in power, that's what they do, because they're dark souls. They do exactly what the narcissist does. But they're expanding their energy wider, because they're mass feeding, and they're also helping their fellow spirits come into this world and feed also. There's no dark soul can come into my healing room upstairs now. It's been cleansed and cleared. It's got crystals in there. It's powerful energy. I've prayed in there. I've done healing sessions in there. Just ain't going to happen. Why? Because I've created the energy in the room. So it makes sense, if evil wants to come into this world, it ain't going to come in there. It's going to find places where the suffering is, the wars, the abuse, the rituals, all the bad things. That's what they're trying to create. CERN is trying to change the frequency from a positive frequency to a negative frequency, so darkness can come in and become stronger. That's why narcissists are showing themselves now, and they're not frightened. They're not frightened of anybody anymore. They're getting more confident. Evil is getting more confident. We're watching it. We're watching it play out. We're going, is this real? Is this actually real, what's happening now in this world? And is it just me? Is anybody else noticing what's going on and nobody's doing anything about it? Yeah, it's just like we predicted. It was made that way. Nobody's doing anything because the power of darkness is causing all of us through the black screen to just go, oh well, oh, that's terrible. Oh, well, oh, we're too weak. I made a video the other day saying, I was so happy and so strong the other day. I realized that, wow, I can understand now why they want us all sick. It makes total sense. If you're sick, do you think you give a shit about this? Do you think you give a shit about what's happening in the other side of the world where kids are being killed? Do you think you give a shit about spraying above when you're sick? You don't care about none of them. You're just sick. That's why they want to make us sick. That's why narcissists want to make us feel trapped. That's why they don't want us to have friends. They say they don't want us to have family. They just want to suck our life force. They don't want us to... this is what it's about. They want to make us sick, change our frequency, so then it feeds the world of darkness. So darkness comes in. Hey, this is a lovely world, great frequency. When you shine a light, you're dangerous. That's why we're attacked. That's why we're the enemy of darkness. And of course, darkness is at the highest levels of the state. It's the highest levels of every corporate, every charity, they're at the highest levels. And that's why you always hear, what, this children's charity are actually trafficking children? Of course. What, you mean the church are meant to love and take care of the world, are doing rituals, satanic Of course. They've hijacked everything. When people say to me, you're awful about religion, no, I'm not. I'm awful about what religion stands for now. And you just don't see it and feel it. I can't stand, I don't go anywhere near politics because it's hijacked, full of darkness. That's why you feel like, oh yeah, but but laws are good, and yeah, they are, but they've been hijacked. All the goodness has now been hijacked because darkness attacks it. It looks for it. What can we do? Let's slow the traffic down. Okay, great idea. What do we do to slow the traffic down? We put a camera up and steal all their money. Oh, but it's a great idea. Look, we're saving lives. Everything is hijacked. That is good. Everything. By dark souls.
Prize that you get in return is their poison that they offload their negativity, they transfer it onto you. So they make you take their poison, and in return, they take the best from you. And it's a fact that most people won't know what's going on at first, but you will know by how you feel. Usually this isn't so long, although obviously there is variables, because they're all a little bit different and there are different circumstances involved.
That's true.
But you will be 100% emotionally dysregulated, and you're going to have zero mental.
The reason why they're all a little bit different is because you've got a version of the soul. So like me, okay, and like you, my soul, I know, comes from a good place. I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want to steal from anybody. Anybody who comes into my life and I think, oh, wow, they've got a great gift, I'm going to take from them and I'm going to hijack them and steal from them. No, we don't think like that. We go, wow, that's amazing. Keep going, you're doing great. Well done, right? That's our soul. Now, your body and your brain, depending on how you've been programmed from a child upwards, has an influence as well. That's why every narcissist, dark soul, has different characteristics. But ultimately, what their soul is to steal your energy, is to cause chaos, is to do all sorts of stuff. But that soul can have gone to school, college, university, trained as a psychologist and all that, but their soul is still their soul, and what they do always underlying is what you feel. Something's not right. All of these wonderful things that they've done and created and not created, but stolen and mimicked and done this, like, something's not right. Something doesn't feel right. And that's the problem when you meet one. You're battling for the first year and 2 years, thinking, no, it must be me, blaming yourself. Well, they're in my life, so there must be a reason for it. Spiritual hijack. Oh, they've come into your life, so there's a purpose for it. Yeah, there might be a purpose for it, but something's not right. And maybe I should have learned and said, no. But then again, you can say, well, maybe it was my path. Maybe I needed to learn this for the higher good of my soul and for my soul world. There's always 1,000 different ways to see things. There's 100 different ways to see being in a narcissistic relationship. And what you're doing is eliminating every single one of them till finally you realize that you can't breathe anymore. You realize that you're not the same person anymore. You realize that you is no longer you. You realize that you're being drained physically, mentally, emotionally, and money wise and everything. You're no longer the person that you are. Every thought you have runs through the dark soul. It's like, oh, what they're going to think, it's like you realize that, whoa, it's not just an abusive relationship. You are programmed. You are now a bloody automaton. And the final part is that I'm going to die. I feel like I'm going to die. It's the most awful feeling. You feel helpless. You feel alone. You feel no energy. But you know what? Sometimes you have to hit the floor. And once you've hit that floor, then everything makes sense. Enough is enough. Nobody should stop you. You should have to go through that to feel it, to know, I've done it. I've been through it. I understand it all now. It might have taken 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, but I've got it now. Was I a slow learner? Should I have known at the start? I have no idea. I don't think about these things. I just think, thank you for the experience, and no ill thoughts for darkness, because I walk away in love. I don't want anything bad to happen. Even if it's a dark soul, I can't. Yeah, but I don't care. I'm never going to do anything. I'll always do what I feel is right so I can sleep on a night. I won't be bitter or try and do this. I'll do everything that I can, because that's who we are. That's who we are. So For me, this is great. I love this. I love this. I love Nelly talking about this and expressing in her own experience. And I can express in my own experience because you know what? It's good. She's right. Okay, she might say things that I go, oh, I disagree with that. But she's right. Just because we're saying, oh, that they're a good soul, but they've lost their good soul because they've cut it off. That's okay. That's okay. If that's the way you see it, it's okay. I say no, they were never a good soul. Their core soul is always dark, and everything else is just an illusion. They're scared to death of you finding out who they truly are. They're scared to death. That's why they're always acting and covering and being careful about everything because they're scared to death of you finding out who they are. Are you scared to death of people finding out who you are? That don't make any sense. It will make sense when you say we're different souls because they're frightened of you finding out who their soul is. So that don't make any sense to me. Or they've just severed their connection to God. No, that's not their God. Because if their God was my God, they wouldn't do what they were doing. They've severed it. They've sold their soul. You can't sell your soul. I'm sorry, you don't sell your soul. You can't give it away. You can't sell it. Your soul, I've come to this understanding, is you either are that soul that does these things because you are that. The program might have said all right and wrong, but ultimately, why do you do such bad things? Why do you keep doing those bad things all the time? Why are you such a, like, I'm talking about the worst kind of darkness, the most evil darkness. Like why would you just do them awful things for money? Why would you do that? And why would you hurt a child? Why would you hurt a partner in the way you do? Why would you? And feel nothing? And feel nothing? You've cut your cord to God? No, no, no. That comes from a dark place, full stop. That's it. And I think that's why I'm an enemy of the state, because what I believe I'm saying is closer to the truth than Nelly. And Nelly's amazing, but I think she's just missing one thing. She's not recognizing that there are 100. If you know, when you talk about just think about this. Are we the only beings on planet Earth? Is it just us? Anybody who says yes, then you can't be of soul. Do you think in these billions of planets there's other beings, slightly different looking, different? Okay. So if that's the case, then why is my reality so difficult to get when I say that there are different parts in this cosmos where there are oceans of what I believe spirit worlds, that there are many, not just one. And there are also spirit worlds that have a different frequency, a darker frequency. They feed from darkness, the black hole energy, the negative energy, the dark matter. That's what their energy is. I recognize this through what I've done in my work as a healer. That person ain't got the same soul as me. Not a chance. I have read for what I can see clearly is a paedophile. There is nothing that comes through that feels pain other than this person is frightened of getting caught, and they know that the law says they shouldn't do what they're doing, but they can't help themselves. That feeling of need, you cannot change a dark soul, which you can call a paedophile, into a good soul. You can't reconnect what Nelly believes is the cord to God. Because if there is a cord and they've cut it, surely you can reconnect it again with healing. No, no, no. Never happens. doesn't work. When you heal a dark soul, there is no feeling. They don't understand. They don't feel it. The only time they cry is because they don't know they just don't have no feeling. Sometimes they'll fake it and cry, and you'll go, yeah, that's fake. That just, you didn't feel anything. This is bullshit. When you're with somebody and doing a healing session and they get up, you can see it on their face, their energy. You can just feel it. You can't lie with energy. That's why a healer can say, this is bullshit. This is a waste of time. That was a waste of time. So, anyway.
Clarity. And you will be in a state of total confusion. But I think the key sign of this psychic and energetic vampirism is exhaustion. And that really is the key signature.
8 years being exhausted.
And let me explain
so true.
Really what's going on there, because it's quite basic. The exhaustion is the physical result of being energetically siphoned. But it's worse than that, because, like I say, whilst they're siphoning your vitality, they're simultaneously using you as the container for their poison. So all of that negativity.
Hang on, Nella, you can't say they're using you for their poison. You can't say that, because what's coming out of you is not poison. But if you just listen, Nelly, what you said is absolutely right. If you rephrase it and say they've changed your energy to negativity, and then they're feeding from that energy. Now it's not poison. Now it's fuel. Now it's perfect. It's giving them strength and power. There's a film called Warcraft, and I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's this really disgusting being that feeds from basically, and it's green. It feeds from humans, and what he does is he sucks their energy, and they just until they're dead.
Their anger, their internal rot is forced onto you as your own to carry. And narcissists really suffer if they're left alone.
I disagree with that a little bit too. The only suffering we have is within ourselves and what we give. So if we didn't, Nella, if we didn't buy into that, and if we said no, it wouldn't happen. So for me, it's like they feed from us, and we are constantly trying to understand what's going on. We are living in a nightmare that we can't see, because we are kind and we want to make things right, and we want to create something to help. We're always there to try and help, and we think, okay, 90% of my relationship is trying to make the partner happy, successful, powerful, and rich, because that's all they want. And I'm going to try and help, because that's what we try and do. We just try and help for no other reason but trying to help. What we're experiencing is this ultimate penny drop moment. We really are simply a siphon. They just love it. They're just like, yeah, keep doing that. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, this is lovely. And that's the penny drop moment, is that it was never love. It was never true. It was only about feeding from us constantly. That's the truth. That's it.
With this poison, which is why they can't bear to be alone. So they dump the dirty load onto you, which is another violation.
Again, I disagree with that a little bit. It's not that they want to be alone. They like being alone. They like doing things on their own all the time, because they're putting themselves out there and powerful. But what they need to know is that you are always there on hand. You are always there for their beck and call. It's not that they want to be alone. It's not that they're frightened of losing you. That's why they're always watching, seeing where you're going, who you're talking to. They're frightened of losing that energy. They're frightened of losing everything that they've got, all the jewelry, all their wonderful looks. And when you are with a narcissist, you'll find that the more you give them, the more they'll, and then it doesn't mean anything. It's gone in a second. It's like, wow, because their soul is different from yours. When you are given a gift and you feel it, it's there forever. But when you give a gift to a narcissist, it's gone in a second. And then you think, wow, there was nothing there. Even though you don't want anything from it, you don't want to tell me I'm wonderful. No, but this is weird. Weird. Why? Because you have to keep supplying. You have to keep supplying.
In the energetic and spiritual realms. And why many survivors actually experience health problems, is because of all of this stress, plus the negative garbage that's dumped and forced upon you. And you have become the site for this dump. And all of the nutrients get drained out of your cell.
And she's missed a valuable point. Sometimes it might not be a single negative dump ever. It could be silence. It could be manipulation. And there's so many other things spiritually going on that you have no clue about. It's not just about somebody beating you. It is sometimes there is no beat. It's just they call it covert. It's completely different. It's like a nitpick. Just pick, little pick, little pick, just a little pick, just a little pick, just another little pick. And eventually, so it's never a bad word said, never an awful word said, but something's going on. Something else is happening. That's the worst. I tell you, if I would have had one moment where there would have been an excuse, they're so clever, an excuse for me to say, okay, now the true colours come out. I'm going because now I can see what you're like. Or you're going to leave me, you're cheating with somebody else, or you've slapped me, or you've done something, you've ripped up all my clothes. They know they're not going to do that. They know who you are. They know how far they push you. They know they know you like you have no idea because they've studied you for years. You haven't got a clue because your life is just getting on and doing things. And like, oh yeah, we're together, we're having a coffee, we're chatting, we do things. No. They are different. They come from a different realm that is nothing like you and what you think and feel and what you just do as general life as you do get up and do what you do. No. Worlds apart, guys. You can never understand a dark soul.
Whilst you're with them. And basically, the longer this goes on for, the more out of balance you're going to become. You're not just exhausted, you're being dimmed. You are being turned into a vessel for somebody else's toxic waste.
For sure.
And that is exactly the type of relationship that the narcissist...
I don't understand why she said for their toxic waste. I don't get that. They're a dark soul and they're feeding from you and you're getting weaker. It's pretty much that simple. I don't see no toxic waste. I just see feed. Pick, just so to get the reaction, the energy change. Yeah, reaction is the energy change. Get it? So, like you walk in, hi, everything okay? Yeah, you left the cup in there, and why don't you just turn? It's like, okay, I'm going. I've just come. What the is going on? Perfect, lovely. Sucking. It's great. Constant pick until you just end up a quivering wreck. Incredible. No, there's no toxic waste. They don't waste anything. They're just sucking all of your energy, which is turned to negative energy. That's just my
To
opinion.
have, whether it's with you, whether it's with me, or somebody else. They don't care. This is what relationships are about in the narcissist mind. This is what they need. So even when you leave, you might expect to feel better immediately, but often that's not the case. You know, you feel absolutely drained, and it gets worse often before it gets better.
So true, Nelly.
And this is because that psychic connection is that cord that doesn't always break just because, you know, you left
true.
the physical proximity. Narcissists may say things like, I will never let you go. And this isn't love and it's not loyalty. It is the panic of a predator that's actually found a prime energy source in you and doesn't want to lose access to the buffet. I like to share with you
Buffet. That's a good one. I've not heard that before. It's a fucking banquet. Buffet. Buffet. Very good, Nelly. I like Nelly. I gotta say, I'd like to be a friend. You know, like some people, you know, you want to be, you like to just sit and have a chat, knowing because you've got so much in common.
And the malignant narcissist that I was entangled with finally became aware that the buffet was soon to be closing.
Brilliant.
And I'm going to share what I did to actually seal the door on my energy.
Brilliant.
And I'm not being flippant when I call it, you know, a banquet, a buffet.
A banquet, yes, exactly.
That is exactly
a banquet. She said it.
And I really know this because I've been very close to one and I learned a lot. At the very end
That's
of
good.
my time with the narcissist,
I'm going to use that.
I finally became aware of that dark spirituality that was keeping me trapped. And I realized I was being held energetically by forces that were actually beyond just a human personality.
Totally.
And I remember in those final days, I consciously put up a shield between my energy and the narcissist.
Yeah, me too.
And I blocked the entry point.
Yes.
And I used my willpower to effectively put up a wall between us, and I kept it erected at all times.
You know what, Nelly? Actually, I've got to say, Nelly, I don't think you did it deliberately. I think this is where spirituality goes off on one. I actually think we do it because our soul takes over and knows. Right? So, like this idea of putting a white light around you, all that is you are acknowledging what you need to do. Basically, you're acknowledging that whatever's happening here is not right and I need to stop it. So the white light, the purple light, I did all of that. I spent years with all of that. Honestly, guys, when you understand something and you know something's wrong, your soul is already creating that what's needed. Once you finally figure it out and you know it and you felt it, your soul says, okay, now you felt it, you understand it, now it's not going to happen anymore. That's why we walk away. That's why we sleep in another bedroom. That's why we won't touch. We won't. Me, never looked in the eyes. Years, can't look in the eye. Why do you look in my eyes? Can't look in the eyes. Because you know when you do that, there starts up a connection. There's now back again, or you're now pulled into it again, like the war thing. Back in again, suck it all up again. No, I'm not letting that happen. You naturally do it without even thinking. Nelly, you naturally do it. I did it naturally, not having it, not dealing with it, not interested, not bothered anymore. And they know it. And they're trying to get in there. They're trying to get back again, like, oh, kindness and love and light and wonderful. And like, not fucking interested. Not at all. I'm not buying into this anymore. I'm not looking in that direction. I'm not looking into the dark pits of the soul that I'm not in. I get away, leave me alone, not interested. God, tell you. So Don't get me wrong. When I talk about these things, Nelly has a perspective. It's not that she's wrong at all. And you might agree with her more than me. It's just that I have a different understanding from a perspective of a healer, an energy that I've recognized and worked with in many situations when people are hijacked by dark souls, because this goes even deeper, because the connection to a dark soul and entities and demonic, they are an open door for it. That's why when you are even in contact with them, they can bring forward anything that then connects to you. And that's why the phenomena of the psychic, the spiritual, happens around you all the time when you're with them. That's why you go crazy in your dream. That's why you're seeing things, and like I witnessed dark spirits in the farm all the time. It's like, what the fuck? That's why my foot broke, and the first thing I said was, "You bastard! You've done this deliberately." I just said it out loud. There's demons here. That's why I didn't want to go to the farm anymore. It's not the farm. It's not the farm. It's what's attached to dark souls, just like you are attached to angels or guardians or beautiful light or the spirit world. And when you're with people, you give that off, and people feel that and feel that energy of love and kindness. They come from a dark place. They give off that energy of dark souls. They're with them. That is the truth.
In the physical room with the narcissist, I literally said to myself internally, no more. And this was real work to enforce, because
That's true.
I
That's just what I
realized
said.
how cunning they are
No more.
to get you to drop your shield.
Yes.
And to give them the energetic access and control over you that they want.
That's true. 100%.
I knew that I was still very susceptible to the narcissist's influence and dominance over me. I knew I had to be careful. So all of my physical interactions became like a meeting of Perseus and Medusa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. We are different.
Can and can't do. As I became aware of how dangerous it was to allow myself to be overpowered by the will of an extremely malevolent individual, and also how essential it was going to be to create a barrier between the pair of us energetically. If I was in the same room, I would do a couple of things. Number one, I'd angle my body slightly away so we were never squaring onto each other.
Absolutely.
And the second is I was avoiding eye contact.
Exactly. This is exactly what I'm saying. This woman is amazing. She acknowledges what she experienced and she's sharing it with you. So her soul knows what it's doing. She didn't, like I would say, Nelly, you did it naturally. You didn't think, oh, I'm not going to look in the eyes because I know it's going to connect me again. No, you just don't look in the eyes. Why? I don't know, but I can't. But you do know, because you know you can't connect again. So I think she's trying to communicate with people on a low level spiritual awareness. And I think I'm trying to say, no, we're actually smarter than this, Nelly. You're smarter than this. And we need to say it as it is. Your soul knew at one point, I can't look into the eyes anymore of this, because your experience has led you to that, which is a natural organic process of being with a dark soul. I think she's great, by the way. It's great. I love this. This is called experience debate. Love it. Love it. And she's not wrong about anything. She's just experiencing it differently. So don't think that I know more. I don't. I just come at it at a different angle.
Eye contact.
Eye contact. It's exactly what I said.
Narcissist from locking down on me energetically. And I think the most important thing is I saw a shield in front of me that acted as that barrier between us. And the aspect of this that gave it strength is the fact that I used the power of my own will to enforce it.
Your soul.
Not only did I see it, but
your
I
soul.
It with my mind.
It's not will, it's your soul.
Through this, I am sovereign. I'm reclaiming myself. And I didn't understand necessarily why this was so important in that particular moment. but it was really so important. And you can imagine what happened, you know. The effect was felt immediately by the narcissist. The narcissist actually, who had grown very accustomed to having total access to my vitality, really obviously didn't like this new situation where I seemed to have this.
Again, think about this. The narcissist, a dark soul, has access to my vitality. Doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. It's like me going with a dark person, dark soul, and sucking their life force out of them so it feeds me. First of all, would you want that energy of a dark soul? No. So what would you do? You'd want to change them to be happy so that you can hug each other and feel good. You want to change their energy to feel good so you can feel as if, okay, they're happy now. I can feel that change of their energy to a more positive energy. Doesn't that make more sense? So if that's the case, surely the dark soul is going to try and manipulate our energy into feeling bad. So our energy battery from positive is gone to now negative. So we're vibrating at a very high frequency, negative energy. So they feed from you. Slap. Oh, why did you leave that? Why did you do? Well, you always, yeah, but maybe you should, like, oh, okay, now grab it.
This wall up that could not be penetrated. I didn't really understand necessarily why this was so important in that moment, but it was really very important, and you can imagine what happened. So the effect was felt immediately by the narcissist. The narcissist, who had grown totally accustomed to having complete access to my vitality, really didn't like this new situation where I seemed to have blocked and put up a wall and it couldn't be penetrated. And I was told, and I was asked with frustration one day, what have you done? I can't get through to you. Now, of course, the more that I kept this up, the more the narcissist became insane with anger. And that is when it became very dangerous, of course. Like, you see that.
So she's expressing herself from her own experience. It's not always the case, and I've met many of them, that like how I saw it was, you really are pissed off. You like want to kill me. Silence. Nothing. Not a word. I can feel it. I can feel the anger. I can feel it. This lady's gone through a different scenario where this person is showing themselves different energies, different, again, all different. So yes, they can come with attack and fight, but then they can come with silence. But still, you can read their energy, and don't ever second guess that. Listen to your soul, it always knows.
Then the true face, you see the true level of evil come fully out when the buffet is closing its doors and when they're close to losing access to you. So I remember this particular moment when the narcissist came to me and hugged me really, really tight and wouldn't let me go.
Weird.
And it was a totally unnatural hug.
Exactly.
And it continued also for an unnatural
exactly.
And I wasn't scared at that point.
No, it wasn't. All right, no. She's saying she wasn't scared because of the beating or the anger. What she's saying is what I think that means to me is, this ain't gonna work no more. This ain't gonna work no more. I am aware of it. So yeah, this ain't gonna work no more. It just ain't gonna work. So that is a valuable moment in life that nothing can stop that, because once you understand it, then it's a penny drop moment.
That was fully about. Now, it seemed to be a ploy, definitely, to try to soften my defenses to get me back under control. And that was part of it for sure. But I also now know that that was the desperation of the starving. The narcissist was hoping, like I said, that affection could be faked well enough for me to lower my bridge. They were waiting for me to let go of the shield so they could get a hit off of my energy. But throughout that very weird hug, which I wanted actually at the time to let go and believe in, but I knew that it was so insincere, and I had a malevolent person with their intent. I knew I needed to keep the shield in place, and that is exactly what I did.
I don't think you kept a shield in place. I think you've come to a point where you recognize that it ain't gonna work anymore. So it's not like a shield. It's like it's a divine moment of acknowledgement. It's a divine moment of knowing. It's a knowing. That knowing you can call a shield. But now it ain't gonna work because I know. I just know now. I just get it now. And it isn't really a shield to me. Like if you said to me, if you came to me and you said, "Oh, you're with a narcissist," I say, "Well, just put a shield up. Just put a shield up. Just put colours around you." Sorry, Nelly, that ain't gonna work. What I'm gonna say is, well, there's gonna be a point where a moment, a self-realization moment, and you realize, what the have I just done, and what have I been through all of these years? It will all come together, and it's that point that nothing can stop you, nothing can change your mind, nothing, what anybody says and does, no matter what, it's done. And I believe that moment is the moment that you've experienced everything that you've needed to feel, so that you become the expert of that very experience, that now you've got it. All the pieces are fitted together. Now there is a protection, because now all the pieces are there and they can't get through. You know what's going on. It's done. That's the knowing. You can't give that like Nella, no matter how hard we try and tell people, it won't happen instantly. You can't put a shield up. You've got to help people by saying, these are the things that happen. This is what's happening to you. This is what they're doing. And like, oh, the pieces are coming together. The pieces are coming together. And all of a sudden, you've got your protection. You've got your shield. Why? Because you now get it. All the pieces fit together. I finally get it. No one has the power over me. Oh my God, I understand it now. So I don't buy into the shield in the sense of just put this over me and all. No, all of these things are experience building to the point where you are far more than confident. You are just knowing, and nobody can take that away. The sun is warm. Nobody can take that away. You know it. The sun goes down, it's cold. It's a knowing. Yeah, but let me explain why it isn't. You can't explain. I'm sorry, I'm not interested. I know when it's warm, I can feel it. I know when it's cold, I can feel it. Yeah, but no, sorry, ain't gonna work anymore. You can try and say all you want, ain't gonna work, because I know it, because I felt it.
And I knew that I needed to really protect myself. I knew that I couldn't fall back under the narcissist's control. So I needed to become sovereign in my energy. And so I sat very safely in my own inner temple with this shield, and the narcissist was left hugging an empty suit of armor, basically. This is the moment that I knew, and the narcissist knew, the buffet was closed. And that's when I say, that is when you really get to see the creature's face that you're dealing with all along. There are things, and sometimes things that we feel to do, that we do not fully understand at the time. But I believe that we're being given the messages from a higher source that's working through our intuition,
your soul,
that alert us of danger and often tell us what is best to do to protect ourselves?
Your soul.
Now, once that energetic avenue, you can look at it like a freeway or a highway, has been, laid down between the narcissist.
It's always been there, Nelly. We knew it. It was always there.
And there's still a route that could potentially be accessible unless you block that route. I'm creating a program.
Well, yeah, we blocked it. Of course we blocked it.
Very thoroughly into a lot of these kinds of protection techniques and understanding this on a deeper level. But if you are in the process of reclaiming yourself as a sovereign...
Do you know the amount of times I looked up and said, "What? Please help. Please help." Talking to my own spirit world, please help. Come and bring my mum, angels, guardians, come and fight or do whatever you need to do to stop this. Never happened. Never happened. Broke my foot, never happened. No protector. Why? Why? It's really simple. I came to understand. I came to experience. They are not going to stop us from falling to the ground, because we would never have learned. Get on that bike, ride, fall off. They're not going to stop us halfway, because we're not going to feel what it feels like to hit the ground, and it hurts, because once we do, we're more aware of everything. Then we become more balanced through the pain that we've suffered. Like, oh, that bloody hurt, I'm going to be careful now. I'm not going to go too fast. So, Nelly, I kind of disagree on this little bit. I know what you're saying, but I disagree. I think we always knew. I think our soul knows. And I just think that the soul says the body needs to go through this. So I feel the experience. Once I feel it, then I digest that as information and knowledge and experience and wisdom. So then when I die, I can take that to my home world. And then we're going to utilize it with our home world. Experience is everything. And just by doing that, just by saying what I've just said, it eliminates karma, it eliminates bitterness, it eliminates why me, it eliminates everything. Thank you for the experience. Thank you. I've got it. Am I going to bring some shit back to my home world, what I've learned? Damn right. Damn right I am. Good for you.
Energetic being, and you're still affected by physical meetings, I'd say, with the narcissist, then you can try the shield technique.
No, I've got a better idea. Stay away. It's easier.
Where I saw that barrier like a shield between me.
Your choice is to be next to them or not. Don't be anywhere near them. Walk away.
Glass, or even you could see yourself surrounded in a bubble, maybe a bubble of light.
I don't get any of that. I struggle with all of that.
You can't penetrate it. It can't be penetrated by negative forces. It's like Paramahansa Yogananda says, people's negative intentions and their negative attention on you can certainly affect us even from afar. But if we...
Paramahansa Yogananda, so she studied with biography of a yogi. Good on you. I must admit, I do like, that's one of the books I did read. And my favorite part is when he talked about to his sister, and he said that she was going to get something on her arm, and the next day she got something on her arm. My understanding of all of this is what she's saying is that we give the power, and we believe the power, and we create it, good or bad. So that what Yogananda said is dangerous. It's only dangerous if somebody believes it. So if somebody says to you, oh, you're going to die in a year, you're going to be dead in a year, it only works if you believe it. And if you believe it, then you will die in a year, because you will kill yourself. The Yogananda's sister got this awful rash on her hand because she believed what Yogananda said. I do not believe that happened because Yogananda had the power to do it. I believe that you have the power to do what you want. You can make yourself ill or you can make yourself strong. So, Nelly, my message to you is I would rather say, I've come to terms with understanding this. I have the power and nobody has the power over me. And I think what you're saying is putting the bubble over you and all that. Listen, I have the power. They can't affect me. I can feel what they're trying to do, but it ain't affecting me because I've already moved on. I'm already living life and loving it and healed, and all of that has got nothing to do with me because I don't focus on it because it has no power over me. That's how I would come across, Nelly. I wouldn't be talking about bubbles and this and that. Meaningless, doesn't affect me. Well, if you have to be in contact with them, why would you want to be in contact with them? Stay away from them because they're a dark soul. And dark souls do what dark souls do. And if you're anywhere near a dark soul, they're going to always do what they do. Oh, but I'm strong enough now because I put a bubble over me. No, I'm strong enough now because I know what that is, and I'm not letting it affect me. So why would I even think about it? Why would I even be anywhere near it? Why would I want to be in that company? Never. If there are 8 billion people in the world, what on earth would even give a thought to that one? And my journey and my experience is far greater than that. There's so much more to experience that I have to do in this life, in the sense of I need to, like, why be stuck in that when you've already conquered it? You know what it is. Let it go, move on. It's really that simple. And I think that's the message we should be giving to people rather than bubbles and colors and stuff. My message is get away. Just go. You're not running away. You're not running away. You're just being smart. No thanks. There, I'm going in that direction because it's the opposite of that direction. That's pretty smart. Walk away in love, not in bitterness, not in worry, not in fear. Walk away in love. I've learned a lot. Thank you very much. No more. I'm going to put myself through that. No more.
We make our energetic defenses as strong as steel. He said that not even the spears that they are going to throw will be able to penetrate. And it's always best to understand, and not many channels actually teach.
Well, I don't actually want to test that theory out, and I don't think I need to test that theory out. What I need to do is get away and have a lovely life and leave it behind. I don't need to test that theory out. I just need to get away. And I think what I hear most of all with people in a narcissistic relationship is that they struggle to leave. That is the pinnacle of everything. How do I get out of this? Where do I go? What's my life going to be like when I leave? Like all of that is what is the problem. Not I need to put a bubble around me. That means nothing to me. Get out as fast as you can, because this is going to lead to you being sick. Full stop. You are going to either die or you're going to energetically be lifeless. You're going to feel dreadful. You're going to feel like you're going to die. There's your alter. It's either that or go. And you need to go. That's bottom line. You need to go. And you will go when you are ready to go. So in that energy, being in that energy, this is deep. Being in that energy by saying no one has power over me ain't going to work. What this means is no one has the power over me. I'm not even going to think about this relationship, be anywhere near it, be anywhere near that energy ever again, because it is not in my life anymore. That's what the power means. Oh, no one has the power over me, but I'll live with them. You're still in that dark energy. It's going to pull you in again. Oh, but I've got this cover around me. Hang on a minute. If you were that powerful, why would you need to put this around you? Why would you not? Why wouldn't you look into their eyes? If you've got this amazing power and all these things flying at you and doesn't affect me, Why do you naturally turn away and not look at them? I don't buy into all of this, which Yogananda said and all the rest of them. I just think that's like self-harming for me. I just walk away and find your path, your journey, because you've done all you needed to do on this path. You've experienced it, you've felt it, you've fallen. Now, ultimately, you have to get up and say, you have no power over me. I'm walking away and I don't care. Because that's one of the hardest things that good souls have to conquer in this life, to walk away and say, no more. No, not no. It's done. It's over. I am ending this. One of the hardest things in the world for a good soul to do, but you will have to do it.
Teach this, that they are predators and they look upon you and me as food. But once you realize that you are a sovereign energetic being, you realize that food doesn't have to stay on the table. You can get up.
I don't know what this means about a sovereign, and it must be some conversation that's said otherwise. I don't even know what that means. I'm sovereign. I don't know. I know what it means, but I don't know what it means when you say it. All I know is this person ain't good. This is a dark soul. I've felt a lot of pain. I've suffered too much. I've got to go. I'm not like I'm a sovereign being. What does that mean? What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything in the contents of what we're going through. Like, oh, you're a sovereign being. Did you know that? Oh, okay, I'm going then. What? It doesn't mean anything. So for me, I don't get any of that. It's like, I've got to go. If I don't go, I'm going to die. And I know I have to go and I have to say no and I have to be stronger. It's not like I am a sovereign being. No, you just, mate, you're in a bad place. You're feeling bad. You're feeling down. You know that you've got no choice. You've got to get up off your ass and you've got to go now. You've got to break free from this. You've got to walk away from it because you're going to die otherwise. Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You've got to go. Sovereign? What does it mean? Doesn't even come into the conversation. To me, it does have no effect and power to make me go at all. That's how I think about that. Again, I love her to bits. She's amazing. It might mean everything to you, but through my experience, that bit doesn't make any difference.
You can walk away. You can close the door to your temple and you can lock them out. And this is the true hidden power behind what's actually often called the grey rock technique.
I'm not locking nothing.
Now, many people think that the grey rock is all.
So I'm not locking anything. I have seen in my healing career with clients that I've heard other psychics and other healers say, protect yourself. What I noticed was that those that did that, they ended up so protected by locking everything out and locking everybody out that they were in a spell. So I would say be very careful of that. So what did I do to break that spell? I used to say to my clients, the only way I could see to break that spell, to break what they've done to themselves, is like the spirit world is here now. You have protected yourself so much that you've got rocks and a protection so powerful that you are now alone inside there and no good soul can come in. So what I'm hearing is today, release the walls, release them all, look up and say, okay, whoever you believe should come into my life now, I'm going to trust in you guys. I'm going to trust that you're going to bring the right people and I'm going to be open to the right people and I'm going to feel that they're right. And if they feel right, I'm going to allow them in my life and I'm going to let you bring them into my life. And I'll know, I can feel what's right from wrong. I'm going to feel with all my heart and I'm going to be open. And yeah, you're right. I did protect myself. Now I won't let anybody else in. Now, for the next 7 days, I'm going to be open and just smile and let people into my life. Change people's lives. I met women and men fall in love in them 7 days, or change their whole life because of that one thought that I had, that my soul or the spirit world said, I can see why you're in pain. I can see why you've suffered, because there's this wall around you that we need to get rid of that wall. And we did. And the change was so profound. So sometimes with what these lovely people are trying to say, that we need to protect, is a little bit of a spiritual hijack. Just a thought.
All about just being boring or quiet, and it is partly, but it's actually a very high level spiritual seal. When you become a grey rock, you are turning your energy into a solid, unyielding stone. So you are withdrawing your light from the surface where they can grab it, and you are pulling it deep into your core, and you're protecting yourself behind a barrier. You aren't just acting like a rock, you are reclaiming your autonomy by becoming energetically inaccessible and unengaged. You're no longer a buffet. You are now more like a mountain that their waves of negativity just break against and simply wash away. So I'd like to speak about reclaiming your vitality, because it takes time to recover your energy. It's not just about reclaiming your identity or getting your mind back. It's about taking repossession of your own spirit. The narcissist is a feeder on the vitality of others, like I say. They are dependent on you. They consider themselves above humans, yet they're the ones who cannot survive without a host body to serve them. They despise the source of life, so they try to command human beings and turn them into slaves. And that's really what this is all about. But it's up to you to decide, not them, when their feast is over. Do you give of yourself to be their banquet? Don't, because you're much more than that. You are a sovereign being, a sovereign spiritual being, and your energy is precious. The divine spirit does not like what the narcissist does, because it goes against the laws of the universe, the laws of spirit, and what is truly ethical and right. And they truly are committing real crimes. These are the real crimes, and they're totally invisible to the naked eye, unfortunately. To plug into and to drain, to parasite off of somebody else's nutrients is despicable. And believe me when I say that they're going to have to answer for all of these wrongs. Eventually it's going to catch up to them. But you don't need to wait for that day to come. Know that it's coming, but you really don't have to wait for it. Instead, you can focus on reclaiming your nutrients and purging out their poison, and re-establish your autonomous self.
Again, I don't buy into the energy of that they put poison into us. Again, it's like somebody saying, oh, this crystal's negative. You are a crystal. You are the most powerful crystal in the world. You are not negative. You are drained of good energy. That's it. They don't put poison into you. They drain your battery. That's all. They drain your battery. They can't poison you. You can't put negative energy into a crystal. Impossible. You're too higher vibe. But what they can do is drain that energy. Ultimately, you will always be a beautiful, energetic. Look at me. Look how. And by the way, everything that I've said and every video that I've talked about narcissists, it's all for entertainment purposes only. And everything that I've said about myself is a metaphor. It's not real. It never happened. Okay? Just, I need to put that out there.
And welcome yourself home to your own energy. Finally, at last, sovereign once again. No parasite attached. And I know for anybody that is still stuck in a loop or a cycle with a narcissist, just know that this is ultimately what they want from you. It's the fuel from your spirit. It's your own vitality that they are going to drain.
To change.
It's the nutrients.
To change into negative energy and then drain you.
Mutual or consensual relationship. And it just takes to really understand what's going on, to wake up, to know that this is what they want and this is what they're doing. This is their intention. And the rest is just a lie that they say to you. Mm-hmm. They just deceive you. They're lying to you to gain the proximity and the access that they desperately need to your energy. You are prey, you're food, you're a source of fuel to a predator. There's no mutuality involved in this, and there is nothing for you to gain by being connected to one of them.
Apart from experience.
Right, you've got everything to lose. This is a spiritual criminal.
Yeah. No. I gotta disagree. You've got everything to gain as well, because by saying that to me makes you feel weak and makes you panic and fear. Sorry, Nelly, I would just disagree with that. I would say you're going through the most powerful experience in your life, and only the greatest of lions and the most powerful can actually go through this. So you are powerful. So I would say, like, you can listen to Nelly, but I'm telling you guys, only the powerful go through the most painful and suffering experience. And when you go to the spirit world, you'll understand why. And only then will you understand why, because what you can put into your beautiful family of knowledge through that experience is profound. So well done.
It's on that level. They're violating your soul and your energy and your destiny and your path, your growth, your identity, your life. And they're trying to sabotage and see you off of your tracks. And this is the worst crime in the whole universe. Understand this. The narcissist is poison for your soul. And they know that. So as you go forward from this episode, I want you to remember that your energy is not a source of banquet for anybody.
All I'm doing is going deeper than Nelly a little bit here by saying it's not poison, and they're not, like, what happens is that when you're drained, when you are living with a narcissist, you are constantly drained because your mind is trying to understand everything, and it can't. What this is all weird. What's this like? You're getting drained constantly. You're basically draining yourself. You have a battle because there will be, when you have a dog, the chances are you've got a parasite. When you are with a narcissist, the chances are you've got a dark entity attachment. That's why you're always battling. And that battle is with an entity or an attachment that is now manipulating you, and then there's a constant battle. It manipulates you because you start to doubt, and through that doubt, your energy shifts to a negative energy, and then they feed from you. And then you come home and they feed from you. That's why there's always spiritual crap happening, weird stuff, bad nightmares, just weird stuff. That makes more sense to me. Once that happens and you are in this constant battle with darkness, you are not going to be thinking about my spiritual path and my journey and my wonderful things that I want to do and I want to make a difference. No, you're in a battle, but you'll win it. You'll win it, guys. You always win it in the end. Light always conquers dark. All right, Nelly. You're great. I think you're amazing. just because I have a difference of opinion doesn't make me right. I just want to share my opinion with them, who I love, and I want to, just, I think you're amazing to help people in your way. Absolutely perfect for many people. And I'm coming from it a different angle. So it's not like I'm better or lower or higher. We just come at it a different angle. But ultimately, Nelly, the pinnacle of who you are and what I am and what all of you guys are is that we want to help. And this is what we know to be right. And no matter how we try and get there, no matter with what your information is and mine and others and the experience, we'll get there in the end. And I want to publicly say I am very thankful for this lady. I'm so glad I'm in her life. And although I don't know her, I feel like I know her, and I think she's amazing. Okay. Just so you all know. All right, Nelly, well done. I think we've been long enough now. I don't know how many hours it's been, but I think that's a long enough. I'll see you tonight anyway at 7 o'clock. So it's 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, 6:30, 5.5 hours from now ish. I'll be doing a live energy healing session for anybody who wants to come over. Okay, so I'll try and put it up now. Thanks, Nelly, and thank you for joining me today, from the enemy of the state. Yeah, have a great day. Shine bright. You're amazing, guys. Thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed our conversation today. Take care. It was fun. I enjoyed